Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Adrienne Ross Show, the basketball edition. I'm going to throw a name out. Does this name sound familiar to you? Kaleena Smith. Kaleena with a K, Smith. If not, hang on, because you're going to be hearing about this young woman, I'm sure, in the not so distant future. Kaleena has become the first high school women's NIL signing for Adidas basketball, and she was signed by no other than Candace Parker, the WNBA legend. Kaleena Smith. This blows my mind because she's 16 years old. She is a sophomore in high school, and she just signed an NIL deal. That's name, image, and likeness. Before I give you my thoughts, more of my thoughts about this historic situation, let me let you see Kaleena, and let me let you see her play a little bit. Remember, she's a sophomore in high school. This young woman is from Ontario Christian High School in Ontario, California. This is her Instagram page, and she defines herself as Kaleena Smith, athlete. Love this right here. To God be the glory, with a cross, and she's got Adidas basketball on here. And so just take a look at her. This is after she signed with Adidas, but we'll get more into that. Just want to allow you to see her play a little bit from some video footage she has up. That's man, man. She looks like she's 8 years old. You know, you look at her, she looks like she's 8 years old, and yet she's being courted by colleges already. Let's see a little bit more. The handles, y'all. The handles, the hesitation, the passing, the no look, the defense. She's 16 years old, and she just signed a deal with Adidas. Candace Parker's first signing since she retired and she became president of women's basketball for Adidas. So let's hear a little bit about this young woman's story, talking about Kaleena, not Candace Parker. No shade, Candace, on that. We all get older. So here in this article from Boardroom, it says Candace Parker taps Kaleena Smith as Adidas basketball's first high school women's NIL signing. So Boardroom catches up with the legend and the #1 high school hooper in the country to discuss the deal, designing for the next generation and the future of Adidas basketball. All right, so again, it points out that Candace Parker serves as president of Adidas women's basketball. Obviously, you guys, if you know Candace Parker, she went to Tennessee Lady Vols, which of course, if you know me, you know, huge fan of Coach Pat Summitt and the Tennessee Lady Vols. And then she went on to win championships in the WNBA. Now, she just retired after another championship with the Las Vegas Aces. She also won champion. She also was a champion with Chicago Sky. All right, so now president of Adidas women's basketball, and this is her first signing, Kaleena Smith. So it says Parker revealed to Boardroom that Adidas has signed Kaleena Smith, #1 women's basketball high school player, to a multi-year NIL shoe deal. The 16-year-old sophomore Smith, who stars at Ontario Christian just outside of Los Angeles, will headline Adidas basketball products as the brand's first ever women's NIL high school hooper. Okay. And so Parker says at Adidas, we want to identify the people that are next. And I was a sophomore when I first started rocking Adidas, et cetera, et cetera. So she's talking about her journey. Here is Kaleena right here for her Adidas, with her Adidas gear on. And it talks about the signing points to a strategic shift for a brand that had primarily focused on signing NBA players in recent years. Y'all, from NBA players to a high school 16-year-old sophomore. That's wild. Okay, what does Kaleena have to say? She said, I definitely want to be one of the youngest to have my own shoe. Being able to inspire the youth, especially the young girls that are like me, don't have that opportunity, but can continue to work and hopefully get the opportunity one day. So, wow. Let's go over to this article over here on Sportskeeda. So again, 16-year-old Kaleena Smith. Wow. So she's made history with that deal. And to celebrate the historic occasion, WNBA legend and president of Adidas women's basketball, Candace Parker, gave the Ontario Christian High School basketball star a 3 stripes diamond necklace. Wow, you get the picture. I find this so fascinating. Obviously, it's historic for Adidas. It's a start of a career for Candace Parker, a new career, and obviously huge for this young girl. It makes me think how times have changed. And it challenges me because back in the day, when they used to talk about should college players, forget high school, I don't even think that was the conversation. Back in the day, they were talking about should college players get paid? Back then, we're really talking about guys. Should they make money? And I know that was an ongoing debate, but I was always of the mindset that no, they are in college. They should not be getting paid. They should just be getting their education. Yes, give scholarships, let them go to college for free, let them play basketball, but they should not be getting paid. That's just not cool. That's the way I used to think. That used to be like the normal mindset. Things are so drastically changed. NIL became a thing before I even knew NIL was a thing. I mean, I was even, when they would talk about men skipping out on college or leaving college early and going to the pros, I was one of those people who was just traditional, like, no, that's for later if you make it that far. College is for getting an education. Your parents often have it. Some people would not be able to afford college, but because they're skilled, many of them get an opportunity to go for free. That's wonderful. You're there for an education, get your education, and then whatever happens, happens. But things have certainly changed. And now we're talking about NIL for a child, for a 16-year-old. What do you guys think of that? I'm wondering, I wonder about that. So I know it depends on the high school. I know there are different rules, and different states have different rules in terms of high schoolers being able to be compensated for their name, image, and likeness being used. So I don't know the details of her signing other than a shoe, a shoe deal, and from what I've read, and obviously representing Adidas. So, but that comes with perks, of course, and possibly money, right? And again, I don't know how all that works there, but she's probably making money. She's certainly getting shoes and whatever else is going on. And I'm thinking, is that wise? Not saying it's not wise. I'm really asking, is it wise that now we take children who are in high school, who should be playing for fun, but also for an opportunity to play in college? And surely that'll be the case for her, God willing, as long as she stays healthy. She's got, I missed this. Let me find this, because I saw the teams courting her. And I want to, oh, here they are. I'll just show this to you. Let me share this screen again. Kaleena Smith is ranked the #1 recruit from the class of 2027 by 247 Sports Composite, and she already has some college offers too, including schools such as UConn, no, Kaleena, Baylor, Ohio State, UCLA, Virginia Tech, and more. So again, you're thinking she's in high school, she's a sophomore, and yet you've got colleges courting her. Okay, we are to expect that with a player, for a player of her caliber. But you're talking about NIL deals, you're talking about money, you're talking about shoes, you're talking about all this stuff. Are we somehow robbing children of just the sheer joy of playing basketball, of not being too far in the limelight or too much, giving them too much, putting too much on them, elevating them too much at such a young age? She might be different because goes to a Christian school. And if you look on her Twitter page, first thing she has on there is believer in Christ, I believe it says. To God be the glory, I've seen in some of the posts. So she seems like she's got a solid faith foundation, which is important. At the same time, though, I still got to ask, what do you think of NIL? Not even talking about college. That's a whole separate conversation, and what that means, especially for players going into the professional, if they're already coming in with all this money and stuff. But I'm talking about high school at 16 years old. Should she be partnered up with a professional brand, making money, possibly? All the hoopla that can be a distraction, but I imagine can also be a blessing. I don't know. I'm trying to like digest this first high school girl, Adidas signs her for NIL. It certainly shows the shift in sports, and in women's sports for sure. But I don't know what I think about this 16-year-old. I'm not hating on her, like, God bless her for real. But it, because as a person, I taught, I coached, I love young people. I've done youth ministry, all that in the past. So I just have a heart for young people. And I'm just wondering, is this a great thing, what we're doing at 16 years old? Or do you have reservations as I do? Just kind of curious to pick your brain. Talk about it in the comments. Should be interesting. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, please, if you haven't already done so. Always like, share with people. I'll catch you next time, God willing. God bless you abundantly.